Hi everybody, welcome back to Fritzy Family. If you're not part of Fritzy Family, if you came over from Natalie the Beauty Divas channel, then I hope that you won't get freaked out. No, I hope that you will subscribe to the channel and stick around for a while because we're a big loving bunch of people over here and we'd love to have you too. Natalie is blonde and fair and I'm brunette and fair. I have brown eyes, she has blue eyes. So what if we did a get ready with me and then people would be able to see that we used everything exactly the same. We used the same products and I bet that we look totally different. The point of this video is to show you how even if you do the exact same thing with the exact same makeup, you will come out looking different and uniquely you. And that's a beautiful thing to be. So it's my privilege to be able to do this with Natalie today. Check hers out after mine. Subscribe if you're not. And here we go. When you put this stuff on, you can be like, Then you put it on, you'd be like, I'm awake, what's going on? All is right in the world. Really, that's how I feel when I put that stuff on. Here is YSL Radiance Awakening Touche Chocolate. It's in BR30. And I just put it right on my sponge. Because this absorbs it, I just put 2 pumps. Start with 2 pumps and go all over my face. The concealer that we're going to use today is Tarte Shape Tape, and mine is in whatever the fairest shade is. What I typically do is highlight and take it up underneath my eyes. So I'm going to draw me a little swoop. As I just pat this out from where it is, so it's a highlight, and then as it thins out, I take it up underneath the eye. You sort of have to move fast on this too because this isn't a thin concealer at all. And as I move under my eyes, I'm going to take a smaller sponge and really blend that out. Do you boo? Whatever works. Next, we're going to use Chanel Universal Bronzer. Oh, this stuff is fantastic. Let's warm up our wintry pale face with this. I'm going to use my Tom Ford bronzer brush, but whatever big, fluffy bronzer brush you have, go get that, okay? Because what I want to do is I want to lay down this color, but I want this brush to spread out enough that it doesn't just stay concentrated in that one area. Give me some color, you see? I'm going to take a little bit more on this tiny contour brush and come down right here on the side of my nose. I laid the highlight up here because that's a really thin part of my nose and I wanted to make it bigger. But this part of my nose, I want to try to make it smaller. So I'm going to take my by Terry, it's their Hydra Powder stuff. I'll have this the rest of my life because it just takes the tiniest bit. And I'm going to come underneath my eye and just kind of tap underneath there. I should have put this on first. So we're going to have to be very careful that we don't get fallout all over the face now since we went and did everything else first. I'm going to take a shader brush, and the only one that I have clean right now would be this e.l.f. one, which is fine. It works just fine. These things cost $1 at the drugstore or on their website, and they work just fine. And so I'm going to tap into this shade over here, and it's called Tempera. So we're going to take this shade all over the lid. So I'm going to take this Wayne Goss, this is the number 3, and I'm going to come into burnt orange right here. So all I'm doing is coming up just above my crease with that burnt orange. Ready, now we're going to come over here to the far end, and this shade is called Relgar. I'm going to tap into Relgar. And I'm going to tip my head back so that I can get right on top of my eyeball in the crease here, and I'm going to darken it up with this color. Okay, you see how I've done that? I've just deepened that up with this little brush and that color right in the crease, just bringing it right on top of my eyeball. So on the mobile lid, and that would be this part of the lid that moves when you blink, I'm going to come into Primavera. Okay, I'm going to get that shadow wet. And here's what I do. I will reserve one side of the shadow for this, because you can rock pan it doing that. And you don't want to do that to your entire shadow. So now I'm going to intensify the shadow because it's wet. And I'm going to work it on the inner corner of my eye. Beauty Junkies makes this brush, and it's called the Detailer brush. But any brush that you feel comfortable with, an angle brush or whatever, to work the outer corner, get that brush, and we're going to come into Red Ochre, which is right here. And then what I do is I come on the outer corner, and I'm just going to stamp this brush down right here on the outer corner of my eye. Twist the brush this way, stamp. This brush is unique in its shape in that it kind of does the work for you. You can turn the brush this way and stamp this way, then turn the brush this way and stamp just a little higher, and there it has pretty much done your outer crease. So that's the placement of that shadow. And this color is just fiery, darkening up the outside corner. Now, what happens when Primavera and Red Ochre meet is really pretty. So all I'm doing is taking the brush and just move it in. Just the slightest amount, move it in. And that's just darkening up that outer corner, as you can see. I'm going to use this, it's called a definer, I call it a pusher. It's just a flat brush. And I'm going to dip down into burnt orange, and I'm going to start on the inner corner of my eye and work this way. Underneath here. Then I'm going to get Relgar, and from the outside and in, I'm going to meet that shadow. So we're going to take the IT Cosmetics, and this is in navy, and we're going to tightline with it. The next thing we're doing is coming into the waterline with Nude. We have elected to use the Anastasia Brow Wiz for our brows. Okay, I'm going to get a little bit of Shape Tape here. I'm going to put it on the back of my hand. And dip into it with this small shader brush. And I'm going to clean up underneath here. Now I'm going to take the Hourglass Mood Exposure we both love. Hourglass's powders. Oh, and this is like my all-time favorite blush. And I'm just going to take this brush here and swirl into Mood Exposure. And then high back here on my cheek, I'm going to circle forward. Oh, and you know, when you use these products, you can use highlighter if you want, but you don't need to because they have a glow of their own. And it's a very subtle but beautiful glow. Now I'm going to take a big kabuki and just kind of buff that out. I'm going to use the IT Cosmetics Heavenly Wand and come into Hourglass's Mood Exposure Ambient Powder. It's a setting powder like no other. I know I'm supposed to do that last, but you may have noticed I'm very unconventional. The mascara we chose was IT Cosmetics Superhero. Then she's going to use Estee Lauder's, I think it's called Impertinent Plum. I don't have that shade, but I took several lipsticks and went to the Estee Lauder counter. Fanny by NARS is a dupe for the color. Now it is not the same finish, but that's okay because we're going to put a gloss on anyway and that'll take care of that. So this is a berry color. I'm going to work that color into my mouth. And now we're going to go for this L'Oreal Metal Paints in Moonlust. Okay, I'm going to go get my hair did. I'll be back in just a little bit. And I would like to thank you for being the best part of the Fritzy family and for showing up here. And if you came from Natalie's video and you're not part of the Fritzy family yet, I sure would like it if you'd hit that subscribe button and hang around. If for some reason you don't know who Natalie the Beauty Diva is, then click the link below and go subscribe to her channel. If you're not having a blessed day, my lovelies, then please go out and be a blessing to somebody else. And until next time, love you, see ya, bye, and I'm out.
Natalie and I are like this, okay? But we're like this. We're like this, we're like this. You can't get more close than being like this and then being like this. Yeah, but Natalie can't make the light change like I can. What? Don't do it now. Whoa, oh, magic, you know. Everyone says it's not so, but I know I'm off, dude. You'd never see Natalie doing that. Am I right? That's why she's a diva. What? Lamp down, lamp down. Go get all these kinds of brushes. That's what you need. You need this many brushes for this eye look. Okay? So go get all these. Stuff you never let them see. Well, actually, stuff everybody else doesn't let them see. I got a runny nose, it won't stop. Plug that hole. Whoosh, whoosh. I look ready for battle now. Thank you, Tarte Shape Tape. I hate it when I get the lid in there upside down. What the? I'll never get it out. How am I going to get it out? How am I going to get it out? Okay, apparently you just turn it upside down. Hi, Laurel. Hi, Laurel. Hi. Bye, Terry. Hi. Bye, Terry. Hi, Laurel. Hi. Hi, Jinxes all over the place. Why did the orange stop rolling down the hill? 'Cause it ran out of juice. Ba-da-ba. Why did the orange go out with the prune? Because he couldn't find a date. Bum. Oh, I got a million of them. Look at a million of them. Why did the orange go to the doctor? Because he wasn't peeling well. Alright, enough of that. Come on, Vogue. I'm striking a pose for the thumbnail. Come on, Vogue. Walk like an Egyptian. This isn't how an Egyptian walks. They go like this. Actually, that's probably a stereotype. We don't actually know any Egyptians that walk around like this, do we? Okay, one more before we go. You thought I was gone, didn't you? You should know better. Okay, one more before we go. How many marmalade sandwiches did Paddington Bear eat? None! He was already stuffed. Okay, all these comedians out of work and you want to be funny. Not you, me.